Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, let's talk about something that can literally make or break your entire budget. How much rent can you really afford? Seriously, getting this number right is so much more than just paying the bills. It's about actually setting yourself up for some real financial freedom. So, let's just jump right in with a super important question. Are you, maybe without even realizing it, rent poor? It's this trap that is just so easy to fall into. Your rent check just gobbles up so much of your income that suddenly there's nothing left for savings or fun or, your future. I mean, we've all heard this story, right? You find this perfect apartment you fall in love with, you sign on the dotted line, and then bam, you're suddenly struggling to even pay for groceries. Forget saving for the future. This is hands down the #1 budget breaker for so many people. So let's figure out how to get this right. Okay, to get our bearings, we're going to start with a really simple but powerful rule of thumb. This thing has been the foundation of smart budgeting for years. Now, the key thing to remember here is that this 30% rule, it's all based on your gross income. That's your salary before any taxes get taken out. Think of this simple percentage as your first line of defense, to keep you from becoming rent poor right from the get-go. Okay, so theory is one thing, but let's actually put this rule to the test with some real numbers, because this is where you're going to see both how powerful it is and, well, where it starts to get a little bit tricky. So, to make this super clear, let's follow a real-world example. We'll call her Sarah. She's moving to a brand new city and has to figure out her entire rental budget completely from scratch. All right, let's break it down. Step 1, it all starts with her annual salary. For Sarah, that's $55,000 a year. But of course, you pay rent every month, not once a year. So our very first step, and this is absolutely essential, is to divide that big number by 12. That'll tell us what she's really working with each month. And there we have it. That gives her a monthly gross income of $4,583. This is the number we're going to build everything on. Okay. Next up, we apply that 30% rule directly to her monthly income to find her target rent. And boom, that gives us our magic number, $1,375. So according to that 30% rule, that's the absolute max Sarah should be paying. But is that really the whole story? Oh, not even close. This is where the real world comes in and complicates things. Right, this is where things get tricky for pretty much everyone. Sarah, just like most of us, has other stuff she has to pay every single month. A car payment, student loans, you name it. These fixed payments, they have a huge impact on how much cash she actually has left over. And that changes what she can truly afford. And just look at the difference this makes. The simple 30% rule said $1,375, but once you factor in her debts, her actual, safe, affordable rent drops all the way down to about $1,145. That is more than $200 a month. That's a huge deal. So you're probably thinking, how am I supposed to figure all this out without some crazy complicated spreadsheet? Well, good news. There are much, much smarter tools that can do all the heavy lifting for you. And this is exactly why rent calculators are so awesome. You literally just plug in your income, add your monthly debts, and that's it. They do all this math for you in seconds. And what you get is a custom budget that actually reflects your real financial situation. All right, hang on. Before you run off and start apartment hunting, there's one more really, really important thing we need to talk about. And honestly, this is the one that catches so many people completely by surprise. You gotta remember, that number you see on the Zillow listing, that's just the rent. It's only one piece of the puzzle, even if it's the biggest one. You also have to budget for things like electricity, Wi-Fi, renter's insurance, and don't forget about parking fees or other weird little charges. Trust me, it all adds up fast. Let's check back in with Sarah. So she finds a place listed for $1,150, which looks perfect for her new adjusted budget, right? Well, after she adds in an estimated $200 for all those hidden costs, her total monthly housing bill jumps up to $1,350. And just like that, she's right back at the original max budget we calculated. See? You absolutely have to look at the whole picture. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, it really all boils down to having a super clear, actionable plan, something that puts you in the driver's seat of your own budget. And here it is. Just follow these simple steps. It'll take you from just guessing and feeling uncertain to being completely confident in your decision. You start with your gross income, find that 30% starting point, list out all your debts, Adjust your rent budget for those debts, factor in all the hidden costs, and then, just to be sure, use a rent calculator to double-check everything. At the end of the day, this whole process isn't about restricting yourself at all. It's actually the complete opposite. When you get this number right, what you're really doing is creating the freedom to save money, to have some fun, and to build the future that you actually want. So, I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Is your rent payment building your future, or is it holding you back? Because by taking, 5 minutes to get crystal clear on your numbers, you can make sure your biggest monthly bill is a solid foundation for your life, not a stumbling block that's always in your way.